Y'all thought you were gonna see some neck, didn't you? Wrong. I told you guys there's gonna be no neck reveal until 50K Bitcoin. $50,000 for one Chinese Bitcoin, one Chinese Ponzi coin. That's when the neck will get revealed. Until then, we're staying buttoned up, tied up in this chastity belt for this neck. This fucking thick, girthy son of a bitch that you guys are all making fun of me for. It's staying hidden away until 50K Bitcoin. We're like 10 seconds into the video. I already know that this is going to get age restricted. So anyways, totally kidding. But seriously, I will do a neck reveal at 50K. It'll be totally worth it. So, what's up? Trader Mayne here. I want to do just a very quick video. This is not going to be kind of my standard 2 hours of me just ranting about the charts kind of deal. I'm actually not going to really talk about any sort of price projections or anything like that. This is going to be a little bit of hindsight. This can be kind of seen as like a video journal almost. I don't journal nearly as much as I used to with trading. I still write my diary, obviously, because a man's got goals. It's going to be kind of just me talking out loud a little bit about what I did this week, how some mistakes I made that were very much avoidable. I left a lot of money on the table. And this was one of my work weeks, as you can see, as the tweet says. It was supposed to say worse. Obviously, I have an undiagnosed case of severe dyslexia, because I swear to God it said worst when I hit send, but who knows. Of trading, I missed a lot of trades. I closed trades early. I was counter trading my own ideas. I fucked up my hedges, basically I got bags under my eyes. I'm fucking tired. I've been up late every night this week just to kind of like stay break even. For how much volatility we've had both up and down, and how well I analyzed the moves, which I'll show you in terms of, catching the bottom, the top, the bottom again. I should be up big, and instead I'm essentially flat relative to kind of where I started last week. So I don't know if this is going to be of any value to you guys. It got a lot of likes, got a lot of engagement, so I said fuck it, let's do it. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it, send it to your friends and your family, whatever you got to do to get these views up. I need this YouTube money because trading is not going so well. I just checked my AdSense for the last month, and I think I've got about $60, and that's not going to be enough, guys. You know how much food I got to eat to maintain this fucking python of a neck? It's a lot. Hopefully this helps you guys. This is going to be in my standard format of just completely winging it. I didn't really plan out exactly what I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to do my best to be concise, but you guys know how I do with that. Not very well. With that being said, let's just kind of hop into it. I do have those educational videos in the works. The problem with me is, outside of my crippling dyslexia, I also have crippling ADHD, crippling procrastination. It's amazing I've made it this far in life, really. I've got the videos fleshed out, and I've started recording parts of them, but I'm not very good at planning it, recording it. Like, I'm not like Crypto Cred or Karush or whoever, where they're good at planning these videos. They've got visual slides and shit. Like, that's just not how my brain works. I think that requires big brain kind of creativity. I just don't have it. I feel like I'm much better off the cuff. But those are in the works. I'm doing that video on entries. I'm doing that video on the crayons in silico indicator suite. I promise those will be done in the month of January. Between my procrastination and just lack of skill, and just how crazy the market has been, I've just been fucking trying to maximize this volatility. Not this week. So we obviously had some major moves happen this week, and I had a very good read on price action, in terms of just where I thought price was going, and where I wanted to be involved. And the issue came down to lack of execution, right? Execution was the downfall for me this week. And unfortunately, that's one of, if not the most important part of trading, right? Like you can mark the charts up all you want. You know, you can have these beautiful charts with indicators, with your perfect price action, with your fucking levels, all that bullshit. You can have it all. But if you can't actually execute when price gets to those levels, right? Like if you're like, okay, I've got my fib, I've got my order block, I've got my SR, boom, boom, boom. If you don't know what to do when price gets there, even if you know what to do, if you don't do it, if you don't pull trigger, and then after pulling trigger, if you don't fucking stick to your goddamn guns, it means nothing. And I've been trading for 7 years now, and I still make mistakes like this. And so I think it's important to share this kind of stuff, because I think it's something that's not talked about a ton. So it's something that I think most people shy away from. Everyone on Twitter, for the most part, not everyone, but the majority of people, you want to look like you don't get anything wrong, right? Like that's the common theme, right? Everyone's got 100% strike rate. No one ever misses a fucking trade. Everyone catches every single moves. And I'm telling you that is absolutely not true. I know that for a fact because I talk to a ton of people, and I know that they'll post something, even though they didn't trade it properly, that, you know, it makes it seem like they did. I fucking do that sometimes, right? So it's just the way it is, right? Twitter is like Instagram, right? Like if you think someone's life is like their Instagram, right? You're just seeing the highlight reel. For the most part, Twitter is very similar, right? You're seeing the highlight reel. You're not seeing the fucking struggle. You're not seeing the Discord messages between the homies being like, dude, what the fuck? So I feel like this is just I'll peel the curtains back a little bit, let you into my mind and what was going on this week, and we can kind of go from there. And if you find this valuable, helpful, let me know. My goal this year for 2021 is to, keep ramping up the YouTube videos. I love Twitter. I love how much support I have on Twitter from you guys. But I really love doing videos. And I want to get more creative with the type of content that I create. Because right now I'm basically just doing, fucking live streams. Which people like, but I mean, I feel like I can do more. And I feel like there's more topics that I can, discuss and share. And I've been doing this a long time. And I just want to be real with you guys and show you guys, what fucking happens in my mind. I don't think I'm the fucking greatest trader of all time by any means, but I know sometimes, especially if you're new, you go on Twitter and you're like, oh my God, no one fucking messes up. And that's not the case. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of mess ups in just 5 days. So let's get into it. So first mistake I made, and this is kind of a bigger, of course I start doing a video and shit starts looking like crap, but whatever, gonna try my best to focus. We're going ham, right? We're going absolutely ham, right? Price has been going absolutely vertical. We all knew some sort of correction was coming, right? We are all talking about it here. Everyone, me included, price can't go up in a straight line, right? We're going to have to see a correction at some point. We're going to have to see a pullback, blah, blah, blah. So we got it, right? 30% pullback. That's the one everyone talked about. First, it's there will be no pullbacks, right? Then it becomes, that was it. The 10% pullback was it. You're not getting any more. It's a new paradigm. Then the pullback happens and everyone wanted, right? 30, 40%, whatever. And then no one fucking buys it. Right? So it's just the typical cycle, and I've gotten good enough seeing this for a long enough time that I'm able to capitalize on these things for the most part. Didn't do so great today, or this week, excuse me, but is this the end, right? Is it the top of the top? I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm a technical trader. I trade level to level for the most part. So in terms of like price discovery, how far this bull cycle is going to go, price projections beyond where we've actually already traded, that's not my specialty. I'm great at trading within a range, trading a retracement into a range for another leg and shit like that. That's my bread and butter. I'm not going to make as much money probably in this bull market as the guy who just apes long 100% of the time because I'm hedging, I'm shorting, I'm longing, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if this is the end. We had plenty of these types of pullbacks, right, in previous bull markets, right? Maybe this is this, right? Like maybe we're here, right? Or maybe we're here, or maybe we're here, right? Or maybe this is the top and this parabola unwinds and we have some sort of major decline, right? I don't know. And that's not the purpose of this video. But when something like this happens, you've got, like, we've just been going up, right? It's been easy to make money, longing, everything's going up. But when something like this happens, this past, handful of days, basically the past week, right, from the 8th to now, we've had insane volatility on Bitcoin. We're getting 10, 20% days in either direction and insane volatility on alts. So this is a trader's dream, right? This is a week where a lot of money could have been made. And that's the most frustrating thing for myself is, I didn't lose a bunch of money, but I didn't make nearly as much as I should have, right? But you can't cry over spilt milk. But I'm just going to kind of walk you through the mistakes I made, and we can kind of go from there. So first thing that is an issue for me, and this is one of my biggest gripes with trading crypto in general, is, everyone talks about you've got to remove emotion from trading. I sent a tweet out something along the lines about it, right? Like you've got to be a robot, right? You've got to remove your emotion from trading. You've got to be objective. You've got to, here it is, right? This is a sense you don't want to read Trading in the Zone. Here's the too long didn't read. You've got to be emotionless, be objective, right? You don't want to have FOMO. You don't want to revenge trade. And all of that shit comes from having a plan, executing that plan. The more of a plan you have, the less, uncertainty there is. So when it's not going your way, it is going your way. You know what to expect, right? That's easier said than done, as is most of these fucking cliches, right? Everyone, the Twitter is full of a bunch of people just spouting fucking useless platitudes. Like, it's nice. I do it, I did it, right? This is me doing it. I do it all the time, right? But this is all recycled BS you've heard before. At the end of the day, this stuff is really hard in practice. So if you're struggling with emotions and this shit, that's totally normal. It's hard, right? That's the hardest part. For me, it's doubly hard in crypto. And the reason being is FOMO is so much stronger in crypto, in my opinion, at least for me, right? All of what I'm saying here is my point of view, my opinion. If you disagree, great, fuck off. Don't fuck off, though. I need the views. It's because, especially in a bull market like we're in right now, or at least, in a bull trend, you own Bitcoin, right? And so it's a whole lot harder to be flat, right? It's a whole lot harder to be, delta neutral, to you gotta hedge, you gotta deal with all this shit, right? Because if you own Bitcoin, right, you're long, right? So if price is going up, right, and you own one Bitcoin, right? You own one Bitcoin, and you go to sleep at 40, and then you wake up and we're at 30. Guess what, right? You've lost 20% of your account value in USD. You haven't lost any Bitcoin, right? But you've lost 20% of your account value in USD. Now, I know some people will say, forget about USD, focus on just stacking sats. That's a great idea. Sure, I agree. In a bull market, focus on the Bitcoin value. But I don't know about you. I don't need Bitcoin to pay for shit. I need dollars, right? So at the end of the day, I am concerned about my USD balance. And once your account gets to a certain size, you're not just losing 10 grand on that 20% drop. You're losing 100. You're losing 500,000 on that drop if you're not hedged. So you're effectively long always. If you own spot, you're always long, right? And so there's a few strategies to deal with this. You either say, we're in a bull market. I don't think the top is in, so I don't give a fuck. I'm just buying Bitcoin. I don't care if I'm down in USD as long as I end up in BTC. That's great. The other option, right, is you have to be very systematic in having a strategy around hedging, right? So if you base your account in Bitcoin, right, you're using coin as a coin margin future on Binance. You're trading on BitMEX where the balance is in Bitcoin. Any of those situations, or you just own spot and you're using that spot to provide the margin for your FTX positions. At the end of the day, you have to be aware that if Bitcoin drops 20% in a day like it did, if you didn't do anything, you're eating a big USD loss. It's an unrealized loss, right? Because it's not a loss unless you sell, but it is what it is, right? And so that's one of the hardest things for me for crypto, right? Is this FOMO that if I'm in Tether and I wake up to a 15% green candle, I'm fucking pissed. I can buy less Bitcoin. If I'm in Bitcoin and I wake up to a 15% red dildo, I'm pissed because I've lost 15% of my USD value. I'm sure people have other ways of coping with this, and there's probably people who are way better at hedging using all sorts of different techniques than me. But this is just something I struggle with. So generally when I hedge, I'm usually opening up a position like a 1x short equivalent to my holdings on the account, on FTX or whatever. And I'm trying to basically offset and sit in in a delta neutral position. So if Bitcoin goes up, right, my USD, so if I short hedge, right, so I open a short for one Bitcoin, I own one Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes from 40 to 41, I'm down $1,000 in USD, but my Bitcoin is now worth 41. So I'm essentially flat, right? So that's what you can do. And that's what I try and do in both directions, right? Because I am sitting in Bitcoin for the most part, not in Tether. The problem is when you miss it, right? And so there's this feeling of, FOMO and anger, and at least for me, that really drives me nuts. And it's something I don't experience in other markets, right? If I miss a move on Euro USD, I don't give a fuck. I don't own any euros. I don't even own USD. My account's based in Canadian. So I don't care. I'm on to the next one. If I don't look at my screen for a week, I come back, my account balance is the exact same. You don't look at your screen for a week in crypto, you come back, who knows what the fuck's going to happen, right? So to me, that induces FOMO and emotion, and it's just way more amplified. Like I get tilted, obviously, a little bit if I miss a move trading, right? But if I miss a move like I did here, it really hurts. It hurts twice as much, right? Like if I miss a short on Euro USD, I don't give a fuck. If I miss a hedge on Bitcoin and we drop 30%, right? I've lost 30% of my USD value of all the spot I have on that exchange. And that's and on fucking cold stores, everything, right? So that's exactly what happened here. And I got tilted a little bit, right? So I'm not going to go back and find all the tweets, but basically right before the drop, God, I tweet a lot. Maybe you guys should tell me to shut the fuck up. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, this is all, again, stupid platitudes. So I closed all of my margin long positions on the way up, right? So, where is it? All right. There you go. January 10th. Okay. So right here, I closed all of my margin positions right before bed. And I felt pretty good about it. I had made a bunch of money that week. I'd closed all my margin positions, but I was starting to feel like potentially, PA was getting rounded a little bit. I was getting some signs of exhaustion. And I knew that we were probably going to have a little bit of a pullback. I didn't know if it was going to be 30% or whatever. So I said, okay, I don't want to be in any sort of leverage positions, right? So I closed all of my leverage longs. And I decided to not hedge. I thought about it. We're at like 40K. And I remember going to bed and we were like right here. And I decided to not do anything. I didn't hedge at all. And in reality, right, we're kind of rounding off here, right? And then here was a critical break on the hourly, right? That's a clean break below those lows. This would have been a good opportunity to get out of some shit. Or just, we're once you see us stop making new highs, right? We've got higher lows, higher highs. We're rounding off here. It's not necessarily a downtrend quite yet. It's all relative to time frame, right? If you zoom in here on the 15-minute, right? We broke market structure a little earlier, right? You could have been like, okay, now it's time to hedge. But regardless, I didn't hedge. So I went to bed feeling pretty good. The trading account that I have on FTX was at an all-time high in terms of USD value. I felt pretty good, and then I woke up and we had nuked hard. I woke up and we're at like $30,000, and I'm shook, right? I'm tilted. I'm angry. I knew that I wanted to long here, right? I was like, okay, we've got daily support here, right? And if you zoom in lower, we actually stopped completely in the H4 low. And so, where did I catch it here? Again, I tweet so much. Yeah, right? So H4, we've got this area right here. I had marked it. This is the key swing low to maintain market structure. We ended up closing back above that daily order block. I'll just show you what I mean here. So yes, we wicked below, but we closed back above, right? And then zooming in, I dialed this down to here, right? I pulled my fib from here to here. I said, okay, we're trading into support. This is the key swing low that matters to me. So I wanted to long here, and I did. So I managed to get in some longs here on Ethereum primarily, and I tweeted all of this as it was happening, right? So held the key level, right? I tweeted all of this live. I longed some F at like 970. I got some pretty good entries on shit. But I was basically just fighting back for a loss that I'd taken, in terms of USD value here, right? So I'm like, okay, I fucked up. I missed this, right? I want to make some money back on the bounce here, right? And so that was the game plan. That's what I went and started doing, and longed here. And the plan initially was, okay, well, if we are bearish there, or if we're bullish here, where do I think this goes to, right? So if we're trading back into this range, this is just how I trade, right? A little insight into my strategy, right? If we're trading into this range here, right? Well, now I've got a new range to work with, right? So we've retraced into this range. Now I've got this range to work with, right? So the target is here, okay? So the plan was, okay, I fucked up my hedge initially, but I'm going to make it all back. I grinded all fucking week, staying up late and shit, just to get back to essentially where I was here on this entire move up here, okay? And again, I tweeted all of this shit live. Like, I tweeted all the charts, all of my levels, exactly what I was planning on buying and selling and, looking to get into. Like, I think, this is the chart there. There's our bounce. Then I started posting where I thought we would come up to, right? So I thought we were going to come up to here. I said, if this is the top, we're going to come up into here at least, right? And that's exactly what happened, right? Came right back into here, and then we sold off again. So I ate the loss here, and then what do? I start panicking, right? So I start longing shit. I take some good longs on F. I take some good longs on some other shit. I close everything early. Why? I'm emotional, right? I'm pissed off about not hedging here. I'm trading my P&L, right? Which is what I should not be doing. I suggest for most people, especially when you're new, there's a reason BitMEX, FTX, all this shit, there's a reason these things have flashing lights. Green is good, red is bad. It's like a fucking casino and a slot machine, and your monkey brain, right? Your ape brain is like, like green is good, red is bad, right? Like, that's not an accident. I took a psychology class in college, so trust me. So I suggest, and this is something I learned from Tom Dante, so I don't even suggest, I'm reiterating something I learned from Tom Dante, is once you enter a trade, right, get your P&L off your screen, on another screen away from you. Because what will happen, right, is if my plan was to long here, okay? Stop was here, right? Or stop was not here. Stop was tighter. I didn't long quite here. I probably got long in here somewhere, right? And then the target was up here, right? Like that was the plan, okay? Why am I fucking with the trade anywhere in between here, right? So you have your entry, right? You have your take profit, you have your stop, and then once that hits, you gotta wait, and price is either gonna go here, right, or it's gonna go here. You should not fuck with it in between, especially if you're new. When you've been doing this a while, you can trail your stop, you can take partials, you can add, compound, blah, blah, blah. When you're new, the less you fuck with it, the better. The amount of money I've lost, given back, fucking left on the table, adjusting my stop, exiting early, extending my TP, countless dollars and dollars and dollars. So why am I touching anything between here and here? I have the plan, everything's doing exactly what I want, but the emotion is creeping in there, right? I'm like, fuck, I'm trading my P&L, right? Because I'm looking at my P&L, I'm down big in USD value. All of a sudden, I'm seeing a little green. I'm like, I need to lock this in, right? So I started closing Ethereum, along Ethereum at 970, right? Like down here, and I closed it like here, right? When my target was always here, up in this area. So why didn't I ride it out, right? Emotion, greed. So I'm trading my P&L. I'm looking at my P&L. I'm going, I got to lock shit in. I'm down. I got to lock it in. I'm deviating from my plan, right? Going back to the first part. No plan allows emotion to creep in, right? So I'm tilted, I'm blah, blah, but I'm making some money back. I'm grinding. I'm entering trades I wouldn't normally enter here, right? I exited this early. I'm like, oh, I'm a genius. And then it starts moving up again. So what do? I start chasing, and I'm in and out of positions. I'm using market. I'm just doing dumb shit because I'm basically on tilt a little bit. In reality, if I would have just done nothing, just bought here, and just not touched it until here, I would have made more money and had more money than I even had at the start here. But instead, I grinded back, took some dumb trades, took some okay trades, cut those longs early. I had bottom longs. I cut them early, right? Because of emotion. I'm looking at my USD balance, it's down, I'm pissed. I'm looking at my P&L, I'm like, I gotta lock this in. I'm longing some stupid fucking altcoin named GRT, which has finally fucking paid me today, but I'm just trying to, I'm chasing, right? I'm outside of my edge, right? My edge is this setup here, right? The retracement, right? My edge is the short here, right? All stuff that I posted on Twitter, right? Saying we're going to come to here at least, right? And that's where I want to hedge, right? And we did. But I'm posting on Twitter like it's all fucking good. I'm not following my own fucking rules, right? And so I'm not trading as effectively as possible. All the studying I've done, all that shit, when you're chasing and you're changing your plan midway, all that shit is going out the window, right? So I'm trading my P&L, I finally get back to basically square when we got up to here, okay? And so I posted this on Twitter, right? I said, if this is going to fucking dump, it's going to dump from here, right? And I'm thinking at least 34 to 35K, right? 34 to 35K. Where did this dump go? 34 to 35K. Fucking precise, right? You think I fucking traded it? No, I fucked it. So what I did, so nailed this long, cut it early because of all the reasons I just explained, took some stupid fucking trades, but essentially gotten some okay longs here, and then I'm like, okay, we're at my area now where I have to be logical here. What is going on in my mind? Oh, we're back at 40K pretty much, right? Maybe that was it. We're about to resume the bull. And maybe we are from here, right? But blah, 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 blah. So monkey brain, emotion brain starts kicking in because I'm still tilted about this loss. This is where it all began. Is I'm pissed that I didn't hedge here. And so for the rest of the week, I'm like, I need to make up for missing that 20%. There's so many cliches, right? Like that shit happened, right? It's done. What am I doing now? What is the chart doing now? And so the plan, right, was to hedge here. And so initially, I stuck to the plan. right? I said, okay, I'm hedging here. I'm hedging into this 6 hour fucking breaker. What the fuck was it here? 4 hour? No, it can't be. Sorry. Am I fucking high? No. Okay, yeah, hedging into here, right? That was the plan. And look at how well it respected the zone the entire way, right? Wick through, always close below. Always close below, right? So that was the plan. I put it on Twitter. I have it planned out for me, right? And I start second guessing myself. And this is exactly, in my opinion, how price is fucking designed to move, to fuck with you emotionally to the point where it gets so close to where you think your idea is wrong that you change your fucking plan unnecessarily, right? And then does exactly what you think it was going to do, right? And so this was the plan, right? Hedge here, back into 34K, 35K, and then ideally move up, but at least hedge here, right? Again, I'm tweeting what I was going to do, and I did it. I started selling into here. So the two mistakes that I made, I'll explain them in one sec. But I had one more other tweet. Right? Back below Monday's high, I think we'll get a pullback towards 35K, right? So this is Monday's high right here. So I had all of this shit dialed, all of this shit planned out. We went above, back below, retest on the other side. So the mistake I made was twofold. First is I started hedging a little early. I saw a little bit of exhaustion here on the lower time frames on this candle, right? Into the 6-2. So I started hedging here, and then I hedged right up to here, right? The rule is as long as we aren't closing through here, and technically it can go higher and then still drop, but for the most part, it should not close through the 0.79 fit, right? So the wicks are okay, but shouldn't close through it. It never did. But the problem is these candles don't look like this live, right? This looks like a big, full white candle going through the zone, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is just gonna launch. And I started hedging $1,000 ago, right? So I started hedging early. And so for the next 24 hours, with a little bit of sleep, I'm sitting in a trade, and I'm down. Not only am I down from missing this fucking hedge, taking the not hedging, now I've hedged, and it looks like price is gonna blast off without me. So I'm like, fuck, I'm down. This is just a screenshot of at one point. At one point, I think I was down, I don't even know, $70,000. It's not like I've lost Bitcoin, but essentially I sold, Bitcoin at 37. We're now at 39, right? So I'm down a lot. And if I am going to close that hedge, I'm taking a USD loss, right? That's the cost of the hedge. If the hedge is wrong, right? If you sell one Bitcoin at 40, right, and it goes to 42, you still own one Bitcoin worth 42, right? But you've given up $2,000 of USD value, right? Your Bitcoin is appreciated, it offsets, but to me, the goal of hedging is to get it right? So the goal of the hedge here is if I sell the Bitcoin at 40, I want it to drop to 35, which it fucking did, and then I now have $5,000 US, and I'm gonna buy more Bitcoin with that, right? That was the plan. So I started hedging early. I'm down all of this USD, and I start second guessing myself, right? What happens? First mistake, right? I started hedging early. I'm in this red drawdown for multiple hours. I'm staring at it. I don't care what you say. No matter how long I've been trading, when I see those big red numbers, it gets to me, right? Like, it doesn't matter how big your account gets. Like, at least for me, like, $10,000 is $10,000. I don't care if $10,000 is only 1% of your account or 10% of your account, whatever. It's 10 grand to me. It's 10 grand, right? That's multiple months of rent or whatever, right? That's a lot of money. So when you're down multiples of that, right, it fucking wears on you. And so that's already fucking with me, right? And then the mistake I make is I start zooming in, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Maybe this is just going to go, man. Look, we're closing above here. Maybe this is just going to go, right? And I knew that this was going to pull back. I had planned for it. Everything had lined up. My idea was not invalidated, but I'm on Discord. I'm talking to people. Oh, they're like, this is looking bullish now. I'm like, fuck, really? Like, I think this is a short, or this is like a good hedge. Right now, that's in my brain. Then I'm on Twitter and I see people being like, we're going back to 50K, like, and this just stuff gets to you. And I'm a huge proponent of being like, don't listen to the. I've been doing this for 7 years. This shit still happens to me, right? I make mistakes. I deviate from my plan. I fuck up. I'm just trying to be real with you, right? So I'm not perfect by any means. I'm constantly improving. I know what I'm doing, right? I know what I'm looking for when I trade now, obviously. But it doesn't change the fact that, it doesn't mean I can't get better. And the things that need improving for me are the mental part of the game, the trade management, the managing of emotions. Like, that's the stuff that is a constant work in progress, at least for me. Maybe there's some traders out there who are just fucking robot G's and they never have any of these issues. It happens to me still to this day. So if you can commiserate, this video is kind of for people like you. So I started zooming in. I'm on Twitters. I'm on Discords. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. So I have this fucking, I basically capitulate at the literal fucking top. So I close my hedges at a loss. I realize a huge USD loss, right, at the top. I close my hedges from like 37 through 38, like right up here, like 39.5. So that loss is now real, right? And then we're breaking out. Well, what's the higher beta play? Of course, Mayne, fucking long some goddamn alts. So I long my fucking GERT coin again. I long fucking Ethereum and some other shit. And then I wake up and I long Link. And then I wake up and my plan played out perfectly. We got the exact dip that I wanted. We got the break below Monday's high and retest, right? So Monday's high is like right in here. This is literally the break below Monday's high. This is bearish. Like, this is a trader Mayne sell right here, right? This is, okay, 50% pullback right into an order block, right? This is confirmation that 6 hour area is going to hold. But I was staring at the screen for hours, right? That was the other problem. I'm over trading or just over analyzing. I had the plan, right? But I'm staring at this shit. I'm fudding myself. I would love to blame Discord, Twitter. At the end of the day, it's always you, right? I'm the one pressing buy and sell. I'm the one making decisions. Maybe my decisions got influenced by other people. That's no one's fault. It's always your own fault, unfortunately. As is everything that is wrong with your life. Outside of like very few things that might be out of your control, most things going wrong in your life or going well are a direct result of your actions. Trading is a perfect example of that. So I basically was staring at this too much, and I basically fudded myself out. We're in a resistance. Everything is lining up, but I'm just like, fuck, we're going up. I'm tired of being underwater. I'm going to cut. And not only am I going to just like cut my hedges and just sit in spot or something, I'm going to cut my hedges at a loss and then long altcoins. Right? Genius. Couldn't write this shit better. And so I wake up and I'm tilted. More tilted than here. I was tilted here, right? Because I missed the hedge. I'm more tilted here because I had spent the entire fucking week trading back to this, right? My FTX P&L, right, is this, right? I'm here, right here, and then I wake up and I'm like back fucking here. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. So I've essentially, gone from all-time high, right, down to a big low, like a low, right, back to here, and grinded back to here, barely slept, ate like shit, and then I'm back to where I started, 4 days ago. And so I'm pissed because on my Twitter, it looks like I knew exactly what was going to happen. That's the problem with Twitter. According to my Twitter, other than the fact that I told you guys I fucked up, It looked like I knew exactly what was going to happen. I just didn't execute it. That's the difference between analysis and actually making the fucking trade, right? So I can have every level in here for you guys. Perfect. I have people DMing me going, thanks for the levels, bro. Shorted, hedged, long. And I fucked it up, right? I'm giving out levels and people are using them better than I am, right? So I'm pissed at this point, right? And I luckily was able to get in some longs here, right? And again, I posted these on Twitter. I said, okay, this is a low that should hold here. Where is it? Yeah, here. I'm like, I think we get a bounce up into here where I might look to short, right? Bounce into here. Might look to short up at about 737, 426. I said I want to see a bounce up into there to short, right? I've gotten some longs. I longed GERT. It finally paid off. I longed Link. It finally paid off. But what do you think I did on Bitcoin? Because I'm still tilted, right? I'm still tilted, and so I'm emotion is running the show, and I'm not listening to my own fucking rules, my own fucking plan. Well, where do you think we fucking bounce to? Right? Again, I'm just taking a new range and that daily level, and I told myself I'm going to look for a short here or I'm going to hedge. That's what I told myself earlier today. Look at where we topped. I'm not saying that this is going to nuke from here, but again, that was the plan, right? Coming into this daily resistance was the plan. Look for a short. I'm up on some altcoins. I'm like trying to grind back my P&L, and I miss another obvious trade, right? So this entire week, like as of right now, if I closed my open positions, I'm essentially, like if this is my P&L, I'm like here, right? And so the question is, are we going for these equal highs or are we going for these equal lows? Hopefully the equal highs, right? But there's, at the end of the day, like I didn't lose a bunch of money. I'm down a marginal amount from where I was at the start of the week. But with how much volatility there was in Bitcoin, in altcoins, to actually have less money, USD value. I didn't lose any Bitcoin or anything like that or ETH, but to have less money in USD value and have nailed the analysis part so well, it's a major failure for me. When I was earlier on in my trading, a failure was losing fucking money, right? You don't make any money, it's a fucking F. That still is the case now. But when you're new, if you're breaking even or you're slightly profitable, that's awesome, right? You're improving, you're getting towards that profitability, right? When you're at a stage that I'm at, where I kick myself the most, especially in crypto, because of that whole fucking like, okay, if I would have hedged here properly, I would have had $100,000 or $150,000 more to buy Bitcoin here, right? And now I've got, an extra fucking 5 Bitcoin that are appreciating here. And if I would have hedged properly here, I would have had an extra 60 or 70 grand to buy more Bitcoin, right? Now I've accumulated 7 more Bitcoin and we're trading at 36,000. I've got 7 more Bitcoin than I did at the start of the week. Instead, I have the exact same amount of Bitcoin and slightly less USD because FTX actually lets you carry a negative balance based on the amount of spot coins you have on there, providing the margin. So, long story short, and I'll try and wrap this up because we're already at 45 minutes here. I don't know if this helps you at all. I just want to kind of walk you through my thoughts, right? Like, I had all of this shit mapped, right? Like I sent this chart to a friend, right? And I'm like, yo, I think Ethereum goes from here to here, right? Like I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, I think this trades back into here. And like, what do? I hedged Ethereum. I did the exact same thing as I did on Bitcoin, right? I hedged Ethereum here at like 1200. I hedged again, started hedging at the 6.2, 1200, right? Closed the hedge at like 1230, right? And then woke up and we're like sub 1100, right? And the same shit on the way up, right? missed the hedge here. I longed the bottom here. I closed it here instead of riding it up to here, which was the original plan. So I just want to kind of, this is stuff that, like, if I journaled more like I used to, maybe I need to do it more now. I still journal a bit. I'll do it at the end of the week. I'll write out my thoughts and shit, but I used to be super meticulous in my journaling. Maybe that's something I should get back into. Maybe this is an epiphany or whatever. But this is stuff that I would be writing down, right? I'd be like, okay, I fucked this up and I did this, right? Because you need to identify these emotions, right, before you can start managing them, right? And I'm just showing you that even someone who's been doing this successfully for years now, I still feel all the emotions that you feel. I'm usually pretty good at managing them, or at least, I like to think I am, but I still sometimes get tilted, right? In crypto, it's more so than anything. Like with Forex, I'm a fucking machine. I don't care if I'm wrong, right? If I miss the trade, I'm like, that sucks, but I'm not chasing it. I don't care. With crypto, it's just, for me, inherently different because of that factor of you're either long or short if you hold spot or you hold tether, right? And so you can't, and it's a 24/7 market. So it's just different for me. But yeah, I feel these emotions, and you need to learn to spot these things too, right? Like you missed the short here and we're down here. Are you tilted? Well, don't revenge short. Don't take a stupid trade, right? Stick to your rules. And more often than not, right, I missed the hedge here. I said, okay, I'm going to have a good chance to re-hedge here and be safe. And I allowed my emotions from missing this one to make me miss the second opportunity, right? And the third opportunity, right? So I'm kicking myself for that. But hopefully, a video like this can help you guys realize, listen, I take losses, I do dumb shit, I feel FOMO, I get tilted, I make mistakes, right? And I still sometimes get influenced from Twitter, from Discord, as much as I preach how you shouldn't. It is what it is. We're humans, right? I'm a monkey at the end of the day. So, yeah, I don't know if this helps you at all, but like this was a tough week for me mentally. And like, and I barely lost any money, right? But in my head, I should have made way more money than I did, and I missed out on a bunch of great trades that I had mapped out. And like, I would almost rather get a trade wrong, like enter it and be wrong, than have the right idea and fuck it up or not take it for some fucking reason. And that's exactly what happened to me this entire week. I flooded myself out of positions. I missed trades I should have taken. I fucking closed trades early. Maybe I need to sit in the rest of the night and fucking journal out my shit and because you need to be aware of this stuff, right? You need to be aware when you're on tilt. If you feel it, if you're feeling that, get in your journal, go review your trading rules, and try and center yourself a little bit before you come back in the charts, right? Staring at the chart too much is bad. Trading when you're fucking on edge, clearly, as I've demonstrated here, is bad. And just take everything you say on Twitter with a grain of salt, right? It's everyone's highlight sheet, right? Being like, oh, I nailed the top, I nailed the bottom, I nailed the top, I nailed the bottom. Here's me posting a huge P&L, blah, blah, blah. The reason I don't post P&L too much, right? Like I don't post actual numbers or anything like that. I talk about losses for sure. Is because I think mentally it's not what you want to see. Like for me, at least, like seeing someone post a huge P&L, it doesn't really bother me at this point. But when I'm new, right, and I see some guy posting like 100K P&L on a trade, I took a similar trade and I'm making $100, right? Like that's gonna, be like, I should size up maybe, right? When in reality, maybe that 3% of his account that he put on that trade that yielded that 100K, it was only 3%, and my 3% yields me $100, right? But now I'm fucking like, I want to make more. I'm going to raise it to 10%. And then you get dinged and all of a sudden you lost 10% of your account. And it's, to me, when I was in Forex, one of the things that I learned from my mentor was don't trade with a demo account that's bigger than the actual account you'll have, because then mentally it's going to trip you out, right? So if I'm trading on a demo account with $100,000, and I'm seeing my trades make me 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever, and then I open up my real account with $1,000 and I'm making $20, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, right? So you want to mentally be in that same state, and then as you size up, you don't have those issues, right? 2% of your account might be $20, but then when you've 10x your account, it's now $200. Then you 10x it again, it's now 2,000, and you're not going, oh wow, it's $2,000. What the fuck? Don't fuck up. It's 2%, right? And I think that comes from having that consistency on your way up. And so I think seeing, people's P&L, it's no different than going on fucking Instagram, right? And you're just like, you got a girlfriend, she's beautiful, whatever, you're in love, but then you're on Instagram and all you're seeing are these fucking supermodels with like big butts and big boobs, and they're all photoshopped and shit. And then you're like, well, what the fuck? Why am I not dating this girl? Right? Because that's not reality, right? That's not your reality, at least. First of all, it's not reality. They're photoshopped. They took 10,000 pictures to get that one. This is a different conversation, but that's not your reality, right? Same as with trading. You see people posting all these huge P&Ls, and then you look at yours, and all of a sudden you're upset, even though maybe you had a great month, but you're comparing yourself to someone else, right? Trading is a battle of you versus you, right? It's you in the charts. That's why it's no one else's fault when you fuck up. It's no one else's fault when you lose money. It's no one is at fault when you're the reason you make money, right? It's not because of anyone else. I don't care. You might be like, well, I just copied that guy's call. It's like, well, at the end of the day, first of all, that's stupid. But at the end of the day, you press the buttons, right? So it's a battle against yourself, right? So that's why I don't post the P&L shit, because I think it's not relevant. Like, you don't need to see how much money I'm making, right? Because then you might look at your account, be like, oh wow, I'm not making nearly as much. I should size up, or maybe you make fucking way more than me, like, and then you don't give a shit anyways. But like, I just don't want to have people. That's the problem with the Forex lifestyle and all that bullshit. I'm not saying anyone who posts their P&L is to blame. Do that all the fuck you want, right? But I think as a new trader, it's detrimental to be looking at other people's success and their shit, and then you go look at your account, you're going to be upset, right? You're going to it's going to tilt you. You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to risk more now because I want to have a 5-figure profit instead of only 4 figures, right? But now you're risking more than you should. So yeah, I don't really know. There was not a lot of flow in this video. I know I just kind of said a bunch of shit, but I feel like this is about an hour-long video. I feel like there's got to be at least 10 minutes of quality content in here. But hopefully this helped. I don't know. But yeah, tough week for me mentally. Like, I'm mentally drained right now after this week. And like, I would have more money if I basically didn't do anything. And instead I put hours and hours of screen time in, barely slept, and stressed, fucking blah, 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 and have less money. And it's, you got to reflect sometimes, right? You're not going to catch every move. You're going to make mistakes regardless of how long you've been doing this, right? And you've got to be okay with it. And I've got homies that I chat on Discord with who I vent to, right? And they vent to me, and that's, part of it, right? Trading is not a team sport, but you can still have, it's very solitary, right? So find people that you can commiserate with, right? DM me. Join my Discord, link in the description. It's free. If you fuck up, I have a channel in there where it's like the rage channel, man. You come in here, that's where you vent. Fuck this, I fucked that up, blah, blah, blah. Get that shit out. Get those demons out of you, and then come in fresh, right? But this week was a trial for me. It was hard, and I'm very disappointed with how I performed. But the great thing is tomorrow's a new day, and I think I can make it all back in one trade. Not actually, but there's always another trade. There's always another opportunity. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force shit. So hopefully this was of some value to you guys. I don't really know. I am going to be working on those educational videos. I promise. Eventually they'll get done. And I've got a lot of exciting stuff planned for this year, for this YouTube channel. I really want to start doing more videos, more podcasts. Like, this is the stuff that fires me up. Obviously, I love trading and I love making money, but I love making fucking videos and I love sharing. And the fact that any of you watch, like, my last live stream had 500 live viewers and it's got 6,500 views. Like, that is insane to me. The fact that anyone wants to watch me just ramble, like the act of like doing a live stream where I'm just going over a chart, and I have the most boring charts in the world. I don't use any indicators, anything fucking. I'm not putting some cool shit on there. Like I'm just drawing lines, right? The fact that people watch that, and like the when you think about it, it sounds so so boring. It's so boring, I almost barfed. Um, is nuts to me, and I'm super grateful. And so I can't wait to do more stuff for you this year. I'm gonna actually try and ramp up the production quality a little bit. Maybe get actually some videos edited and just make things a little bit more crisp and just proper and organized and orderly. But yeah, hopefully this was of some value. If anything, this is just literally me talking to myself about all the things I did wrong this week, and I'm learning from it, right? I'm always learning, I'm always developing. It doesn't matter how long you've been at this game. So that's all I got. It is Friday night here, so I will be back on Sunday with my weekly stream, so make sure to tune in for that. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. I'll talk to you soon.